Sharing the stories of some phenomenal fathers, dads who inspire their families and their communities all year long.
One of those dads is Rusty Hofmann. He's a California doctor who saved his son's life, his son Grady, and Grady wrote in to tell us about his hero. Oh. You're going to love this story, Hoda. Let's listen.
The most difficult time of my life began the day my bone marrow stopped working in the spring of my 3rd grade year.
Parenthood is a journey comprised of moments, many of them mundane, some of them scary, all of them precious. They call themselves the Party of Five, Rusty and Amy Hofmann and their rough and tumble threesome of boys, Hayden 17, Baylor 15, and Grady 14.
He's like my best friend, basically. He always goes fishing and surfing with me.
He is an amazing dad. Time with the kids is always most important to him.
Northern California life was ideal for the Hofmanns until 5 years ago, when at just 9 years old, Grady got sick.
March 31st, 2012, I was diagnosed with a disease called aplastic anemia.
He had gone swimming with Rusty and the boys, and they came home and they sat down, and I just looked at him and his eyes were turning green.
I knew then, like, this is probably something bad.
Within a couple of weeks, Grady would become a potential candidate for both liver and bone marrow transplants.
I looked at all these heads of departments in the room looking at my son, and they had the look on their face that I never wanted to see. They didn't know what was going on with him.
Fortunately, Grady's dad is the head of interventional radiology at Stanford University Medical Center, and he is among only a handful of doctors who was aware of a procedure that would eventually help save Grady's liver. But there was still the issue of his failing bone marrow and the need for a donor.
I was scared. The diagnosis of aplastic anemia had an 80% fatality rate when I was in medical school.
Parental matches are rare, but incredibly, Rusty and Grady were almost a perfect match. Still, they were in for a long journey.
We had a birthday party 3 days before he went into the hospital for his transplant, and I was worried it was going to be his last birthday. It was his 9th birthday.
My dad's bone marrow harvest was successful, and his bone marrow was brought to my room to be transfused through my central line, my lifeline.
He was basically critically ill for about 1.5 years.
His mother homeschooled him. His brothers came to the hospital to play with him. And of course, there was always Rusty. Now more than a father, a blood brother.
His blood is my blood. We're identical. Like if he committed a crime someplace and they found a DNA, he could frame me, which I'm hoping he won't do.
Last week, now 5 years removed from a bone marrow transplant, Grady graduated from 8th grade.
Amy gets the boys like a necklace that commemorates them. I got one this year from Grady. It says, "Thank you, blood brother."
That's
so,
special.
yeah, it's pretty cool to be his dad, but also to be his blood brother.
But Rusty knows healthcare is complicated, so he co-founded Grand Rounds, an organization whose sole purpose is to find the right medical care for everyone. They work with individuals, as well as businesses, including NBC Universal's parent company, Comcast.
We simplify healthcare. We help patients get to the right doctor at the right time for the right treatment.
Because of Rusty, they are still a party of five, and his devotion to his family has left a lasting impression on his sons.
Always putting family first.
Hero, life-saving.
A family, sons, and a blood brother.
We have with us Rusty and his son Grady. They're joining us by Skype from Santa Cruz, California. Hi, guys.
Hello, guys, and happy Father's Day.
Hello.
Grady, what a beautiful note and letter you wrote about your dad. I mean, we fell in love with him. Tell us a little more about why you love him so much.
I think he's a great dad. He always works hard, and he always balances work and family. And he saved my life.
And there is that.
That little detail.
I mean, the chances of you, Rusty, knowing that procedure, how few doctors are even aware of the one that saved his liver?
Pretty much almost all interventional radiologists that are well-trained know how to do it. It was really the fact that you could use adult devices on kids that helped us do the biopsy, and then the great doctors and nurses at Stanford Children's Health saved his life.
Well, you guys are something special. I have to tell you, the blood brother thing. We're in tears over here, and we wanted to say a little thank you, Grady. We know that you like Legos. We heard that you're a Lego fan, and while you were in the hospital, you played with them a lot. So they did the
You
folks from Legos.
you always donated your sets afterwards. Well, they wanted to chip in, the Lego group, and on behalf of you and your dad, they're donating $5,000 worth of Lego construction sets to the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital in Stanford.
So, you guys, thank you. Have the best Father's Day.
Ever. And all the love we send to all of your family, guys.
Thanks,
God bless.
guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Take care.
How sweet. How sweet are they?